Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and tensions with Russia are rising. Two nuclear power heads, the United States and Russia, things are about to go boom. So we are literally on the brink of some stuff, but I have a huge report and lots of stuff to share with you from the US destroying relations altogether with Russia, from some staggering comments from Josh Earnest at the White House, to the drills being conducted, which I've talked about before, to also Putin sending an ominous message to American cities or the American population. So lots of stuff. For starters, let me show you a quick clip of the Russian news source in regards to the 40 million man drill that I have brought up a few times in the past. But it's important to share that first so you have an idea that Russia is preparing for something huge. Here's that clip.
В 6 утра Министерство чрезвычайных ситуаций объявило о старте всероссийской тренировки. Учения по гражданской обороне продлятся с 4 по 7 октября во всех, без исключения, регионах. Мероприятия проводят ежегодно в начале октября, начиная с 2012 года. Но в этот раз масштаб действительно рекордный. В учениях примут участие 40 миллионов человек, 200 тысяч спасателей и 50 тысяч единиц техники, включая авиацию.
So they are preparing. While they do this drill yearly, the drill size that they have done this year is beyond, above and beyond any levels they've normally conducted in Russia. 40 million persons is definitely a huge, monstrous drill to be conducted. So they evidently think something is underway. Now, we also know that with the United States election, that they have been blaming stuff on Russia left and right, starting with the DNC hacks. Now, there is a leaker that came out and specifically said, that was not done by Russia, but it was done by someone inside the area there. So that's what has surfaced from a proclaimed whistleblower, an NSA whistleblower. But nonetheless, what we do know is that Russia is being blamed on these hacks. What are they responding with? Well, what I'm about to show you is Putin when he was having his own version of a press conference. This is how he responded when he was questioned, and I'm going to read from my notes here, by a journalist about how to respond to Joe Biden about threatened cyber attacks, because we know that in response to reportedly Russia hacking America, that is the claim by the American government, though I've not seen any tangible evidence for that, but nonetheless, that is the claim. They said since they did it, they're going to do it and send cyber attacks. Now, nothing has come to fruition on that thus far, but Putin was specifically addressed and by a journalist, and the journalist asked, how are you going to respond to John Kerry's threat of a secret cyber attack, which I've brought up is not so secret. But here's what he said. We can expect absolutely anything from our American friends. Do we not know that U.S. intelligent peeps on everyone and listens in on their private conversations? This is well known. It's not a secret. Plenty of evidence exists. Billions of dollars are spent to do this. The NSA, the CIA, not only is there evidence, but also their own confessions about it. And they spy not only on their enemies, but also those they perceive to be enemies, but also their closest allies. The question is, why? Why do they do this? In the circumstances of a pre-electoral campaign, any party involved in this seeks to establish the tactics of, said campaign. And each party which is seeking to get elected always faces one issue, the issue of unsolved problems. They should be able to show or explain to its population why this or another problem was not solved. The U.S. has many such problems, more than enough, though it is a leading world economy, a superpower undoubtedly, but there are many unsolved problems. My point is, there are many unsolved problems. This is where the well-practiced system of distraction comes into play, to distract the voters from the country's real problems. And now he gets in a little bit more into what some of those problems are. And just so you know, I am reading to you his dialogue. Otherwise, it's just him speaking Russian and the interpretation showing. But I'm going to leave a video link below to this entire dialogue so you can check it out for yourselves. But that's what I've got on the screen here is just screenshots of his dialogue. Some of them go through really quickly, and that's why I'm doing it this way versus playing it straight out. So, but I will leave the link below. But anyway, he goes on after saying some of those problems. In my view, this is exactly what we are witnessing today, how it is done. Create an enemy and unite the nation against that enemy. The enemy in the form of Iran and its nuclear threat didn't work very well. But in the case of Russia, it is a lot more interesting. This is the card that is actively being played right now. It is my hope that after these debates are over, after this challenging period in internal U.S. politics, there will be an opportunity to restore Russian-American relations. Now, when questioned further by a journalist, Putin responded with the following. You can compile half-truths, you can compile quarter truth, you can dilute the truth in order to manipulate public opinion in any one country. Russia has not been the exception to this. Russia has always been the target of such attacks. We know this already before Biden's speech. The journalist goes on and questions more about his views between Clinton and Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and asks specifically if Russia was influencing the election in any way. Well, Putin responded with these words. He said, I'd like to calm everybody down, our American partners and friends. We have no intention of influencing the turn of events in the elections of the U.S. Our response is a simple one. We have no idea what will happen after the election of the new president. So Ms. Clinton has chosen to take up a very aggressive stance against our country, against Russia. Donald Trump, on the other hand, calls for cooperation, at least when it comes to the international fight against terrorism. Naturally, we welcome those who would like to cooperate with us, as any country would do. And we consider it wrong that we always have to be in conflict with one another, creating existential threats for each other and for the whole world. But then he goes on a little further in the speech. But let me repeat that jeopardizing Russia-America relationships in order to gain brownie points internationally, I consider this to be harmful and counterproductive. He says, well, it's not funny anymore. If somebody out there wants confrontation, that's not our choice, but this means that there will be problems. This isn't what Russia wants. Instead, we want to find our points of mutual agreement and solve global problems that have both American and Russian interests at heart, as well as those of the whole world. So there you have it. He says he's not influencing or has no intention to influence our elections. He also says if a country wants confrontation, basically he will give them confrontation. But he also says that he thinks a lot of talk coming out of the American candidates is to help their candidacy, help their election, so to speak. So lots of talk, and we'll see if there is any blow. But nonetheless, what I do know is Josh Earnest at the White House was specifically addressed about sanctions on Friday, just this past Friday, October 21st, I believe. But he said this when questioned by a news journalist. Secretary Kerry and other State Department officials remain deeply engaged in a variety of multilateral efforts. And we're going to continue to discuss with those partners a wide range of options, including the potential of using some of the financial sanction tools in the context of Ukraine, have imposed some economic costs on Russia. Now, that is what he said at a White House address. Now, according to a report put out by Sputnik News, titled, Washington apparently seeks to fully destroy U.S.-Russian relationships, a Russian agent by the name of Rakobov, R-Y-A-B-K-O-V, told Russian news source RIA Novosti, or Russian news source, that in case of extensions of sanctions, which is exactly what Josh Earnest has talked about, he lists amid mostly senseless and unreasonable reasons, we will find a way to respond so that the balance will change, and it's not going to be for the U.S. benefit. He goes on, it seems like no other issues worry the U.S. administration except for the goal to fully destroy relations with Russia, so that many years would be needed for them to restore those relations. Now that was posted on a Russian news source from a Russian official there. Lots of things, lots of tensions. We have sanctions at the White House. We have responses from Russian news source. We have Putin coming out talking about our elections, giving us warnings under the radar. We have the country preparing for mass drills, via 40 million man drills versus things that are normally done. But also most recently, according to Town Hall report, Russia is flexing as it conducts missile exercise. It deploys, naval and fleet to the English Channel. Now, the report describes how the exercise was led by nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. This is just another drill that is being conducted in Russia there. So, as you can see, does America seek to destroy the relationships with Russia, between US and Russia? I pray not, because two nuclear powerheads coming together is going to be catastrophic. That's something we don't want. Ergo, the reason I think Trump would be a better candidate than Hillary Clinton, which in my opinion, well, I won't go there. But there you have it. Lots of tensions and lots of things rising. Make sure that you are prepared and ready to go for anything that comes our way. I say this a lot, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Foodforliberty.com/Haven is who I personally use for food storage. But if you don't use them, use someone, pack your own, but make sure you are getting ready for anything. You never know when something can strike. The question is, when will it? And we know we are on very unstable ground right now. So make sure you're prepped and ready to go. Now with that, I wanted to tell you guys that I am going to a convention in November. I hope to see you guys there on November 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's called Deception in the Desert. There will be a tour of area or around Area 51, and I will be the MC of the night, and I'd really love to meet you guys. So I'll leave information below on that entire event, but it's Deception in the Desert. Lots of great people, Don Perkins, L.A. Marzulli, Billy Crone, myself, and many others are going to be there. So come on out in Las Vegas and check out Deception in the Desert. Tickets are on sale now, so hurry up and get them before they sell out completely. Now with that, please also subscribe to my channel here. I'd love to have you guys following me. It's a blessing that each and every single one of you are here doing that. So thank you very much for that. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on this, and this is Lisa Haven signing out.